want to welcome everybody to our work session tonight, or this afternoon. I know we're kind of, the schedule and the crazy time changes, and so this particular meeting will be the ongoing for the first and third Thursdays at 4:30. When we do our when we do our regular session after tonight, it'll start at 5:30. We had originally announced that was going to change it on September 1st. So when we had tonight's meeting, we had to kind of keep the old schedule, so there's a little gap between. As you can tell, the room looks a little bit different. A little bit of work's been done in here, so I think that Karen, she's not in here, is she? Karen Wheeler has really done an outstanding job as an interior designer, so she's the one that has helped to lay out and position in place. We do still have a couple more things that we're going to do technology-wise as far as screens and monitors, and then we get our pictures back on the walls. But we wanted to go ahead and get in here instead of meeting downstairs since it was this far along. So we're going to kick off with department updates. If you're just dying to go first, I'll let you go first. Otherwise, I'll just start calling on people as we go through. But everybody avoids eye contact once I make that. So, Mr. Jones back there, if you could kick us off with the rec department, I'd appreciate it.
So, rec department, kind of our slow period right now. We're just getting ready for football to be starting. We'll have games starting on September the 7th. We got so many teams in the league this year. We had to play a Tuesday night game, but then that'll be the only weekday game we have, and then everyone will start playing on 9/11. That'll be the first big Saturday. We'll travel to White County to play our first games. We'll host 2 times in September, and we'll host 2 games in October at the Pickens High School. So that'll be our big weekends for football. Along with football, that's been going on for a couple months now. Basketball registration will start in September, and we'll run basketball registration in September and October. We'll start practicing basketball in November, and then games will start in December. Update on the new master plan for the park. We'll have another meeting with Loose Design on August the 30th at 6 p.m. at the rec department. They're going to take the comments and everything from the last stakeholders meeting and update the plans, and we should get a better sense of what they're proposing as far as the new creation of the park. So, but other than that, like I said, this is kind of August is the one slow month out of the year that we don't have really a whole lot going on as far as games, but starting September we'll be going pretty crazy.
All right, so you said that's on August the 30th.
August the 30th, 6 p.m.
Okay.
And I'll send out reminders to all the stakeholders when we get closer to that date.
Mr. Anderson, how about up at the road department, public works?
Yeah, I guess we'll start with what's been done. We completed our Evans Road project. We did the chip sealing on the little section there at the creek. Fired up our new chip sealer and got the guys trained up on it, and it turned out real well. We went ahead while we were there and recovered what we'd already chip sealed there a few years back, just kind of freshen it up, and did a little patching up and down Bright Road there. We moved all of that equipment over to Upper Salem. We're planning on finish chip sealing it next week, weather permitting. And we're also working with the rec department on the old high school parking lot where they're going to be holding the soccer field there. We're going to try to get that gravel next week. After we finish that, something else that's already been done, the guardrails were installed this past week at Twin Mountain Lakes where we built the new wall. We installed a guardrail along the top of it to, make it a little safer. And after we get done with Upper Salem, chip sealing it, we're going to start on the east side of Type Mine and start setting it up for chip sealing. We're planning just to go as far as we can until weather sets in this winter. So we'll just do a section at a time and try to get it done. And as the weather turns, then we'll concentrate on working our way through there and, widen it out and hopefully chip seal the rest of it come springtime.
And Johnson finished all the Elm paving projects that were started for the year. So
They did, and we've got striping lined up. I know I've got a lot of roads out there right now that don't have stripes on them, but I do have the stripers lined up. Hopefully we'll see them here in the next couple of weeks, and when they come back in, they're bringing a big truck, so once they start, hopefully they'll blow through all of them in, pretty short order.
Go.
Yeah, I've got about a 4-month update since I've got into office, to kind of let you guys know what, the marshal's office has been doing, and then I'll let Natasha kind of speak about the animal control and animal shelter. But I had Christy actually pull in about a 4-month report, and for the last 4 months I've got a synopsis of what I've been handling. So about 20 calls went to the sheriff's office, either helping them out, backing them up on calls, or either they were shorthanded at the time and I would help answer some calls for them. Had 42 dumping and littering accumulation calls that I've handled throughout the county within this 4-month period. And then about 141 administrative details, which in result into the delinquent tax service going out and actually serving homeowners or the tenant at the time that's there the delinquent taxes that are past due on the mobile homes and stuff. So within that 4-month period, about 256 case numbers that have been issued.
So you've got a team of
Just
about
uno mio
about
solo
100.
for that, but it's been busy. But it's actually I finally got I guess a groove down pat, and got a rhythm going now. So but it's busy. So, but also too, to let you know that I did get registered and got all my stuff taken care of, as far as paperwork for the chief school. So that'll be coming up in middle of September. I think it's the 20th through the 29th, but I'll be out of town for that for almost 2 weeks. So I'll be going to that.
Then one thing with the marshal's office that we'll be trying to line up next month and get to both of you guys is the ordinance for the marshal's office. The previous ordinance and the current ordinance that we have right now is brief. It's about a paragraph long ordinance. It doesn't really give a lot of guidance in detail. We have a draft that we're trying to finalize to get into your hands so that y'all can review it, and then we'll work on setting up public hearings for an ordinance change as we move into our meeting schedule in September. Could possibly be October before we get it to the voting stage, but.
I was going to ask you, the guy that talked to me about code enforcement, would that come under Marshall's office?
So it could, some counties it's under Marshall, some it's under planning and zoning, because it's so specific to do building code. There's training that's required that's beyond just a civilian code enforcement. So we do have a category for code enforcement in the draft of the new ordinance, but it's more for the animal control codes that we've got a way for them to be able to do enforcement on the animal ordinances on top of the others. So we've got to modify that a little bit. And I think that's one of the reasons we've not got it sent out, is to just try to make sure that we include the proper avenues, but then we can get it. That's one of the reasons you haven't got it emailed to you yet. We're trying to include it, but then each county you talk to does it a little bit different. Some that falls directly under the marshal, and some that falls under your planning and development, because they're the ones that work directly with the ordinances. So we'll have that squared away. And I know you'd mentioned, so I'll just jump to the other side of the room so we can stay in that topic with the animal side. So how things going with the shelter?
We are good. We currently have 2 dogs that are waiting on a hearing for dangerous dog. We have one hearing next Wednesday, I believe it is, on the 22nd at 12:30 with the Department of Public Health for that one. The other one, we're waiting to see if they're going to appeal the decision. As of July 31st, we had 47 dogs and cats at the shelter. 63 came into the shelter in July and 60 went out. And that's really it.
Now we're on this side of the room, we'll go to Mr. Dean here. Waterworks.
We said 90 meters so far this year. We normally said about 45 or 50. So for us to be 8 months into the year and we've set 90 meters, we've doubled what we normally said. The 136 project, we're about 50 or 60% complete, and the reason why that is because we're having to pull off and set so many meters and fix leaks. And the weather's been holding us up too. And it's slow go because we're having to flag. We're on a stretch of road where there's no shoulder, and for us to stay out of the ditches or up on top of the embankments, we're just putting it on the shoulder of the road with the blessing of the DOT. So it's slowing us down somewhat. So got some pretty big news Monday, I think it was, Monday or Tuesday, from the engineers. The water plant and everything has been approved. So it's out of their hands, and they're just getting all the bid packets and all that good stuff ready to hopefully start breaking ground, hopefully by the end of the year. But I'll give another update on that once, hopefully in the next week or two.
That's the EPD finally approving the Grandview. Previous one.
That is concerning.
It has.
Is
It's
that-
been sitting on their desk for a year and 8 months.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So we may actually start seeing construction and movement now.
On the EMA side right quick, we received, August 8th, we received our Zeta money. We received 2 checks, one for the amount of $70,234 and another for $6,584. And I signed and approved for our direct administrative cost last Friday, so that's another $2,600. Once we get that check for the $2,600, Zeta will be closed out, and still working on, I don't know what they call it, the floods, I guess. We've got 2 projects we're lacking on the floods. Just waiting on some paperwork for Twin Mountain Lakes and Mullinax. Once we get those complete, I've got like 12 projects already completed, signed off on those, so hopefully we'll be getting some money back from those. I got a rough estimate on the mitigation money that we'll get back just from Twin Mountain Lakes, minus the emergency LMIG that we got for it. And it's roughly an extra $63,000. That's not a hard number, so that's just a rough estimate right now. Hopefully in the next month or so, I'll be able to close it out and we'll start receiving monies on all those projects. So, but I think all projects, I think we may be pushing $250,000 to $300,000 back. I hope. So I'm not sure yet. That's what I'm shooting for.
I'm trying to figure out where I left off of it. Paula, there we go.
As you know, we met with our broker yesterday and going over the health and insurance numbers and just looking at renewals, and he's hoping to get us some numbers by September 15th, I believe he said. And as far as the workers' comp part of things, we talk a lot about safety grants because we get one. We have so many things that we do to get a discount, but they added a couple of years ago the one where you get, I think it's around $8,000, and Sloan them got some dryers, I think, and washers too, a couple of years. And this year, the sheriff's office was able to get some tactical flashlights, I believe that's correct, Brian. And they've already got those, and everything's been approved for that, as well as Philip was able to get some DVDs for safety training with the, I think, the road and water departments. And I'd just like to mention to everybody, if I know y'all seen the employee spotlights that that Kim's been sending out, and if anybody has anybody in their department, just please let her know, because I think that's good for the employee morale, and people need to be spotlighted for good things.
I have a question about the insurance. Will we have any increase this year? Do you know what percent or anything?
We don't really have an idea yet. It was going to be the end of the month before he gets the renewal numbers from Cigna. and he's gonna get back with us hopefully by the 15th of September.
And we did talk to him about shopping in terms of being able to get some additional numbers from some other places yesterday. So when we met for a little while, he's gonna not only get our renewal for Cigna, but then look and compare as to is there something better out there or not. We did have some pretty good sized claims coming in this year, so we'll see what that's gonna look at
We
the end of
might
the year.
not be able to change if we get these new claims.
We didn't have as many large ones as what I think in past years, but we're talking, there were a couple that were substantial.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what that looks like in September when he gives us the true numbers. Right now, it would be speculative to,
They were up some, as last year was down a little because due to COVID, that was been people going, but they were up some this year. He brought some different strategies that he's gonna look into.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Christie, anything going on in the communication world?
Staying busy. July, from what I can tell, was our busiest month in history, so.
I don't know if that's a good thing when
It's not
you're
good,
having
we're
your
busy.
busiest month. That's kind of a negative for sure. I'm gonna go back to you two in just a minute. Justin, over in the planning and development side.
Last month is, we're just ticking along about the same. We've been doing everything except for the month of June that was so, it was double what the other months have been. But we've gone back to what we've been doing every other month this year. So 15 site-built homes last month, 4 mobile homes, 4 commercial permits. That brings us up to, in total, with all the different permitting that the office does, 1,569 permits issued. 450 of those are building permits. So, staying busy back there. There's 2 new employees in planning and development, Bethany and Vicky. And so if you call back there, you'll be hearing 2 new voices. Also, Mr. Fry has stepped up and he is taking a larger role in the department, and I'm exceedingly happy about that, to see somebody that has this skill set that is getting some credit. So it's good to see.
Very, very good. And then on the 2 new, when he says that we have one that the Board of Elections actually hired to be the election supervisor.
Right.
So Stacy had left to take the position here, and then Michelle took a position with another municipality, so she left. So those were filling for those 2 spots. Both very experienced and should be doing well. Getting their feet under them. Mr. Dobbs, back in the assessment world. I wasn't trying to skip you, I'm sorry.
Well, the calendar keeps changing. It's 2021. I want to thank my staff for working real hard with the public this year. We got our digest for 2021 completed and uploaded to the tax commissioner's office, I think on the 29th of July. So we achieved that part. Working real hard on 2022 already. All the things that you see going on out there, we're trying to stay up to date with all that, all the new plats, subdivisions, buildings, working with the other municipalities, trying to get them to get their building permits in, so they'll stay up to date. And it's just a busy time in Pickens County, Georgia. That's why her July numbers were larger than they've ever been.
Coming right across the hall from the tax assessor to the tax commissioner, any updates of what you guys have going?
Everything is going really good. We're right in about the middle of the digest. We're kind of in a waiting period, waiting on the different entities of cities to adopt their millage rates and get their advertising and everything done. So a little bit of a standstill on that. But it's going really well. Everything's going according to schedule. So it's going really good. So we want to thank the assessor's office for getting that to us. It's been real helpful with getting all the information and things that we need. So we really appreciate those guys and what they do every day. We've had a couple of changes there in the office. We were down, I don't know if any of you saw it, our website and our card stuff was down from Friday through Monday. We'd taken it down. We went with a different company a company called Government Windows instead of Sturgis, who we had before, which is actually going to save the county about $7,000 a year. And it also gives us the opportunity now, if you go online to pay your taxes, you can do an e-check. Like, if you swipe a card, it's going to be 2.6%. If you have a larger bill, that can really add up. But the e-check has a $3 flat rate. So if you want to go online and pay your property taxes that way, it just costs $3 in the system, and you can actually do it online. And so we've got more features, and it's actually costing the county less money to have this new system. So we got that up and going this past Monday. So I think it's going to work out really good for everybody. So, but other than that, everything's going really good. Everything's going according to plan.
Good. So Bill, I know most of the departments have spoke. I don't know if you've got any updates on beyond what they have. Sloan, anything new in your world? I know we've got the COVID kind of separated on the.
Yeah, I've got quite a bit of information on that. I think my department's pretty much spoke, and Christie can say, as far as the fire world and everything else. I mean, people are out and about now to where they weren't, with the COVID. And now here we are, and I'll explain more about that here in a few minutes.
Okay. Before we move on, y'all have any questions in the department? The next one, and I know it's kind of odd to put it on a work session agenda, I just wanted to kind of make a mention of it. We'll have to be scheduled into a public hearing, but we've received a petition from the residents that all live on Cutoff Road, which is off of Henderson Mountain, connects to Pettit Road on kind of the southwest corner of the county. We've sent it out to the public safety heads just to see if there would be anything, but the petition is to end county maintenance of that road for them to be able to berm up one side so that they don't have such a constant traffic flow coming through and the speed. It's a small gravel road that goes through.
What's the length of the road, do you remember approximately? It's not a trick there.
I'm wondering if it's sitting right here in front of me. I knew, as soon as you said that, I was thinking, I bet I should know. It's less than a mile, but I don't have the exact. I've got the individual surveys for the properties that connected, but I did not go out and check the full length of it.
And when that happens, they just let it grow up, so to speak? Is that the deal?
They take on the maintenance of it themselves. If that's, I think that they've had a lot of traffic flow issues with cars that are coming through a high rate. I've talked to Kurt and I've talked to Christie and sent it out to all the other public safety to see if it would affect anybody in the county. We would then have to schedule a public hearing to give the public an opportunity to come in and speak and object to it if they do object, if it's used for other purposes. So the goal would be to try to get the advertisement started for a public hearing, so probably the second meeting in September would be the earliest point. We can schedule it between the work session and the general, so we don't have to have a special time. We would just set that meeting, that public hearing between. Do you see a problem with that timetable? We've got the individual surveys that Wes pulled, and so I have a map of the survey of each individual property from that. Wes had pulled all that. So.
That's roughly 3/4 of a mile.
3/4?
Roughly.
Are there any houses on that?
Yeah.
There is, yeah.
There's 9, I believe. 10. All 10 signed the petition requesting this stuff, so they've all provided the desire to take on just maintaining it themselves to cut out the traffic flowing through there. Whether in a public hearing, we'll see how they respond.
Because we're used to people
wanting us to take on the road. So yeah, Kirk was the one guy that was celebrating this when we talked about getting rid of one. He was jumping up and down. Everybody else was kind of scratching their head. But I think they've just got issues with the traffic coming through that dirt road, a narrow dirt road, fast, and that was what led to it. So we'll work on getting.
They will change.
Yeah, make sure they understand completely. But we'll get that date set, that way we can get it advertised. And then I'll reach back out and verify with each of them. I've spoke to to several, and then they brought in the petition with their signatures, so we'll get that part going. I did ask Sloan just to kind of prepare a COVID update. I know we're all hearing and seeing the spread and the pick back up, so I was going to get him to go over kind of the current situation.
I pulled the numbers just a few minutes ago, actually, so I'm up to date as far as what they've sent out today. To date, at the state, we're over 1 million positive cases that we've had. Deaths are 19,131, okay? I also understand, I'm not here to debate any of that. I understand everybody said, well, I know Bubba, he drowned, and they said he had COVID, I'm not here to debate that. These are the numbers on the website. Hospitalizations, right at 70,000. ICU is 11,737. Just to date itself was 7,051 in the state of Georgia, with 46 deaths since yesterday. 203 have been hospitalized. Pickens County for the last 2 weeks has gone up 167. I will say this, as far as the 167, I believe the numbers are a little higher. As we know, Walgreens, CVS, some of those have their own little take-home test. And I'm not sure everybody's reporting back to the state saying that, hey, I'm positive. They're just realizing they're positive. Some are quarantining, some are not. I mean, I'm aware of some that are not.
How do we stand on the vaccines? Do you know the percent?
Last I pulled it, we were 37, I think, for Pickens County. So,
I think
not really
41 had a single dose, but we still hadn't gotten to their second dose.
Right.
So there was a 4% bump.
Correct.
Last week in one of the meetings last week.
So, but I will say, as far as the health department times for vaccinations, you can walk in, you don't have to schedule them. Okay, Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, it's 8 to 3:30. Every day you can walk in, you don't have to get an appointment. Tuesdays are 8 to 6 p.m. and then Fridays are 8 to 12. They are carrying all 3 vaccines, so they are available. Did watch a little special from the White House currently too, earlier today, looking at the 3rd dose as far as the boosters for those who have had their 2nd shots. They're looking at, hopefully, if you've had it within the last 8 months, they've already opened it for some of the people that have severe immune deficiencies, anywhere from organ transplant to HIV to cancers, whatever. They can go ahead and get theirs. They've already opened that up for the booster shot. As far as healthcare providers, public safety, nursing home staffs and stuff like that, they're actually hoping, they don't know, so don't hold this, this is not in stone, but they're hoping that the week of September the 20th, if you're fully vaccinated and been vaccinated for 8 months, they're hoping that you can come and get your booster at that point. I think which most of what I'm aware of that's going to hit about the right amount of time for the public safety personnel that did get their 2nd vaccine. That's going to hit about the right time. I think it puts them actually about October. That's speaking personally from me. I know I wouldn't be eligible until October. My 2nd dose was in February. So, also Dr. Taylor, DPH has reached out to me, and Dr. Taylor, which is the medical director for DPH in our region, is looking at possibly having a testing facility in every county. I have reached out to a couple of places so far. Hopefully those will work once they present the date and the dates and times of when they want to do it. So I'll have to just confirm that as they tell us. It's an outside agency that's doing it. It's Mako. I know they're already in Gilmer County. You can get tested Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays in Gilmer County. There's 2 sites in Cherokee County that are also Mako sites that you can get tested And that, it is free, so. Hopefully, for long, I can give you some dates that we can get a test site here in Pickens County. Because I think it's needed, so I think our numbers will show that they're a little higher than what they actually are, just because people are doing the home test and they're not sending it in. So, Pickens-Gilmer game has been canceled, if you hadn't heard that, and it's due to COVID numbers. I didn't get their stats as far as what Gilmer has or any of that, but from what I was told when I made the phone call, that was the reasoning behind it. Gilmer County's numbers are going up quite a bit as well, which I pull those numbers, I just didn't bring the comparison between Gilmer and Pickens. I mean, I could sit here and talk all day about COVID, so, but y'all have any questions?
From a facilities standpoint, do you ever see them having to come back down to the rec department to do mass vaccinations again in the future?
They have not spoken of that yet, but that would not surprise me.
Can you
if
keep me in the
Oh,
loop on
absolutely,
that?
absolutely, yes.
I got a lot of stuff going on.
You need at least 12 hours notice, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Yeah, because last time it was
Yeah.
basically shutting that room down for a while, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid that now as far as working with them with the test facility. So, I've tried to ease your mind by saying I've reached out to a couple places since I've not called you. I thought, well, he'll know I ain't talked. I'm trying to avoid his area there, but anyway. Any other questions?
So under general discussion, I don't know if you guys have any updates. One thing that, going back to Roy and Daniel talking about the tax digest, I know that we did get our first advertisement hit the paper yesterday. We'll discuss it more in our regular meeting and then the set date for August the 30th at 5 p.m. So Mr. Barnes will have a busy night that night rushing from here to get over to the rec department for the next one, but officially set that put in looking at it, that puts the rollback rate going back to 7.489. So we'll be able to roll back the overall tax rate due to a lot of real growth, and I think the majority of the growth in the digest came from real growth, not inflationary or from reassessment growth. So that gave us a good opportunity to be able to do that. That's all I really had on the general discussion. Do you have any points you think of? Mr. Lane, you missed anything? We'll adjourn the work session. It's 5:05. We'll get this joined. I know we do have a 6 o'clock regular meeting, and I apologize about the gap in time there, but this 1 month, it kind of got us this first one to get us scheduled and set up, and we'll keep it going.